We begin this morning with a debate that has now pitted pets against the Pine Barrens. A long-standing animal shelter grandfathered into the Pine Barrens now wants to rebuild and expand. But environmentalists say it is a clear violation of what's allowed in the precious Pine Barrens, under which the island's only drinking water source lies.
Hey, bud.
For nearly 50 years, the Kent no-kill animal shelter has helped to rescue thousands of pets from being put to death. Now shelter managers want to build the rescued animals a better home.
This facility will not be able to meet the needs of homeless animals into the future because it is a bit antiquated.
The state and the town of Riverhead have approved a $2.5 million plan to increase the shelter's capacity 50%. But the property lies on the very edge of the protected Pine Barrens and its underground aquifer that provides Long Island's only source of drinking water.
Kent is using our affection for puppies to allow them to build over the purest drinking water source on Long Island.
The Long Island Pine Barrens Society wants the project killed and thinks the town should find property for it elsewhere, angering shelter supporters.
I think it's a great use for the Pine Barrens. It's nature. They're part of nature. They're living creatures.
Shelter managers say the expansion is pro-environment because it includes moving buildings away from the nearby Peconic River while adding a bigger septic tank to prevent groundwater contamination.
Our plan presents a solution to that.
Green says she's asking the State Pine Barrens Commission to grant a waiver.
If the commission acts politically because of the puppies and breaks state law that protects water, we'll go to court.
There you have it. Now joining us now is Pamela Green, Executive Director at the Kent Animal Shelter. Welcome to the show. We have invited Mr. Amper on as well, but he is unable to make it before the upcoming vote. So there you heard it yourself, Ms. Green. Pine Barrens says it's black and white what you want to do. It breaks state law, sets a bad precedent for other development, and add on that you're hiding behind people's love for animals to try to violate something that's equally beloved, the love of the environment.
Well, actually, we're not hiding behind anything. Kent Animal Shelter is not about cute puppies. There's over 130 animals there at any one time. We're not really violating anything. That's a matter of...
well, the law prohibits development in the Pine Barrens region unless they get a waiver from the Pine Barrens Commission.
Right.
That's only been occasionally granted through the years, a couple of dozen times,
right,
through thousands of requests. And the people of the Pine Barrens Society say if we let this happen, then next what? Condos, people are going to want to build roads, put companies in there, manufacturing.
Well, we're hardly a CVS or a condo, or our use is very unique. We're an animal shelter. We've been there for 47 years.
Now, that's before they passed the Pine Barrens Act. That's why it got grandfathered.
Yeah, that was written in the 90s. So we're grandfathered in. And again, we're very unique. We're the only animal shelter in the Pine Barrens.
Well, that right there is why...
We're going to be the only shelter ever in the Pine Barrens.
This may be something where the folks who have long thought that animal shelters aren't appropriate for the Pine Barrens may just want you out. And they've said that the town should find you land. Do you think that's what's afoot here, that they're trying to move you? And could you go to somewhere else if the towns were to provide land?
Well, here's the thing. We don't really have to go anywhere. We can just stay there. And
well, that sounds like you have no intention of being made to move.
Well, yeah, they can't make us move. We're grandfathered in. We can stay there, continue to do what we're doing. It's not good for the environment, although I think a lot of people, including the Pine Barrens Society, are under the impression that we put solid wastes into the river, which we don't.
Well, let's talk about that, because like everyone else, you've said part of the reason you have to expand is you have antiquated facilities, including the septic system, which you acknowledged to me the other day, like everybody else, leaks and dumps wastewater into the nearby Peconic River.
Yeah, I mean, the pools are sitting in the groundwater, but we don't put solid waste down there. We bag it up and dispose of it properly. We never did that. So people are afraid, oh, is there animal feces going into the river? No, there's not. There never was.
But there is some level of pollution that occurs from the septic tanks.
Well, it wouldn't be much different than a household that has, there's houses all along the riverbank that have cesspools, and the water level where the kennel sits is only about 2 feet underneath the ground level.
So now, if you were able to
that's
get
a
your
problem.
waiver and expand, and you would be upgrading that, how would that change? Would there be less
Well,
pollution?
first of all, we'd take the kennel down. It was built in '68. It's a cement block building. It's sitting on the ground where the water is 2 feet below the surface. We're taking the facility. We're taking 3 buildings down, another building on the river, and an additional building on the property, and putting one building 300 feet or a football field length up toward the road.
So away from the river.
Away from the river, and there'll be a septic tank which we can actually get pumped out a couple of times a month, you know, and
So that would be an improvement.
and it would cut down tremendously on the discharge from the animal
Well,
shelter.
here's the deal. You got a project that you say is going to cost $3.6 million. You've raised about $1 million, I believe.
Well,
you're told.
2.5.
$2.5 million.
Yeah,
And how much of that have you raised?
about $1 million so far.
So you're
Yeah.
still $1.5 million short.
Yeah.
If they were to provide land to you somewhere else, could that work with the money you have in hand if you didn't have to buy the land?
Well, we could certainly consider it. We're not, you know, standing there defiant of not being able to do this project. We're staying. We're not saying that. If we had an appropriate piece of land, or some wealthy person came along and said, you know, I love animals and here's a nice piece of property for you, we would certainly consider
Because
it.
nothing official has happened, but there have been requests from a number of parties for the towns to consider whether there's land. So we know that there's talk and discussions
There
about
may
it
be. I'm
ongoing.
not aware.
But they haven't made any offer to you.
No.
Okay, so now here you have the Pine Barrens Society saying, though, that if you succeed before the
Yeah.
commission, which is a state commission that oversees what's done in the Pine Barrens, that they'll go to court. You prepared to fight them in court?
Well, to my knowledge, and I'm not an attorney, but if the Pine Barrens Commission makes a decision and it's recorded as to why they made the decision, there are very few judges that will overturn that.
Well, we'll certainly see when the ruling comes up in the next few weeks by the State Pine Barrens Commission. We'll be following to see what happens. Pamela Green from the Kent Animal Shelter, they want to stay and expand. We'll be watching to see where this all goes.